Hi everyone, let's paint together today this 15 centimeters or 6 inches mandala tutorial, and this is vishudha chakra or throat chakra. So let's start it. I'm starting with this art creation pearl bronze 3D drops. You can use maybe another ones that you can find. Bronze color or golden will be perfect. And as you see, I'm already placing dots around. So the central dot, it's around 5-6 millimeters. And first row I'm making with first custom color. So everything will be in description. Don't worry about that. You can read and learn how to mix paint. And we are placing between the lines. So lines 22.5 degrees and rows every centimeter. And move slow, don't rush. Remember, we are placing dots as close as we can, but not touching each other. You can come back later and do another layer of paint when everything dry out. But for now, just try to make it like separate from each other. This is our next row, and with 1.5 millimeter tool. And this is our second custom color. And dots I'm placing, as you see on the video, inside of row marks that we made on the lines. And in this particular case, with these particular sizes, this will be between dots of previous row. And again, we are moving slow. We are placing dots as close as we can, but not on each other. Do not mix it, because it's really nice when every single dot like separate. And remember, I'm making this a little bit faster than it's in real life, so don't rush. And next row we are doing with our third custom color. It's a lot of custom colors this time, and 2 millimeters tool. And we are placing dots between lines. And again, with these particular sizes, this will be between dots of previous row. The same rule, we are placing dots as close as we can, but not on each other, not too close. And slowly but surely moving forward. Again, you can come back later on when everything dry out and place additional paint with the same tool on these dots that will be dry, and this way you make it a little bit popping up from the surface more. And next row we are making with blue Harbour color. This one is not mixing, this is straight from the bottle, DecoArt Americana paint. And we are placing dots, as you see, on the top of lines. And because size is bigger, it's like making change a little bit. But this is what we actually wanted, so it's perfectly working for us. And you see, with every single next row, you kind of can a little bit correct if you don't like previous one. So always remember, it's not about to be perfect, it's about to create beautiful painting when all dots, all lines working together. So I'm not a perfectionist because I wanna enjoy the process, and because we are painting Vishudha chakra, it kind of makes sense where I don't need to be the same. So we're passing one line, as you see, and placing dots with our fourth custom color. This is our fourth custom color. And you see what I'm doing. I'm placing 5mm dot with enough paint, and with thin tool, 1mm or 0.5mm tool, I'm making this shape of drop, but to both sides. So in total, it's 2 centimeters. It's not a dot pattern, let's call it like that. And again, moving forward like that, not rushing, taking time, because we got a lot of lines, as you see. It's 16 petals in Vishudha chakra, so it makes sense. A lot of lines, 16 lines, 16 flowers. And as I said, Vishudha is not about to be like anybody else. It is about be yourself. So don't try to make like somebody else. So even in this particular case, removing all bubbles. If you decide to go with another colors, let's go with another colors. Don't stop yourself. And slowly moving like that. More details you are making, more time this will take. So for this mandala you will need a couple of hours for sure, with small breaks to everything dry out. And last one. Such beautiful, you see. We can leave it like that. I'm joking. A nice trick. So with the same tool, I'm placing again paint at the central part of this pattern, and you see how this changes in volume. Even when everything dry out, this will pop out a little bit more. So it's kind of trick. Even if I'm planning to put another drops on the top, but even in this case it looks really beautiful. Yeah, nice. Look at already looking more like complicated, but in our case it's working. So let's move forward with our first custom column. With 1mm tool we are placing 2 dots from both ends. Don't make it too big, but surely like visible. And you see again one small details how this changing our picture in a total. yeah, this central part that we added more paint, like making difference for sure. And with the same first custom column and the smaller tool, 1/2 millimeter, I'm walking around from like 4 sides in this case. This will take time, so don't rush. If you're tired, just leave it for some time and come back when you're resting, because all these details are really difficult for our attention to make it nice, but the result will talk. So just do when you're ready to do. Don't rush yourself to do everything at the same time. After everything finished, next step, 1.5 millimeter tool, and I'm placing one dot with second custom color, and you see I'm leaving like a couple of millimeters and placing bigger dot. As I said, leave from previous dot like couple of millimeters, so this will give some space for next dots that we will place. And again, really important that base color from time to time visible. This give like a deepest of colors that we are placing on the top, so don't worry about that. And I remind that this is our second custom color, and with smaller tool we are making walks around only of a first higher part of this upper part of this pattern. I'm not going down because it's not enough space over there closer to the center of mandala, and we place a little bit more details later on, so only on the top part. And as you see, if you messed something, you can literally remove and finish everything. Look how beautiful it is. So next step, this is our third custom color. I'm making small strokes. I'm starting like in the middle between these rows, and with a small or middle-sized brush, don't push too much, don't make it too big. You see, definitely on the video you can see how small it is, and we are going only from the like bottom part of this our pattern. In this particular case, really difficult to explain this. You can see only on the video how it looks like. And again, slowly moving forward, don't rush. If you're not sure in your moves, wait until everything dry out, and after that, move forward. I'm making it a little bit faster for you to save some time. So, and you see how this changing our palette, lighting up it. It's definitely changing. Yeah, it looks nice. And moving forward. So this time I'm coming again, 2.5mm tool, and the color is Blue Harbour. This one just from the bottle, without mixing. And I'm placing one dot, as you see, on top of this line, marks, and two below. So I'm leaving 3-4mm between. This giving us space when I'm placing first one, and after that I'm placing two below. And this kind of a little bit changing our palette and making this a little bit more interesting. We are finishing and moving forward, obviously, with the same color, Blue Harbour, and 1.5mm tool. I'm walking around. I'm trying to be as close as I can, but definitely I'm not trying to put any dots on the top of each other. And you see how this again making this a little bit more interesting. All these details. It's, as I said, if you're tired, take your time, get rest. But it's difficult to create, but it's definitely making difference, making this much more interesting. And if we are talking about symbols, this is for me all these creative ideas that's coming from our vishudha chakra, our throat chakra. So it's definitely symbolic for me. Sorry if you can hear rod. And last one. It's beautiful. So next step, if you, again, as I said, not sure in your strokes, wait until everything dry out. If you're sure, moving forward with small brush, because it's not like so much space over there. Small middle-sized brush and our third custom color. We are moving around, so I'm not trying to connect this. And as you see, I'm trying to be as close as I can, but not too close to the dots. Starting from this chest, between row and line, and walking around, leaving a little bit space between strokes on the top, and walking a little bit around. Because we placed on the top part more dots, it's kind of a little bit bigger, but this make it just more interesting. I like sometimes if I placed a lot of paint, make a little bit line on the top of stroke, and this visually making like this, like it's bigger, like it's more paint. Looks like even when it's dry out, it's visible. Beautiful. Look at this. Yeah, so blue. And the same brush, and this time our second custom color. I'm starting like 2 millimeters below and making small strokes around. The end of the strokes I'm placing on the top of previous one, as you see, and moving like that, making these petals, flowers more interesting. And because this color from a little bit another palette, this making like it's a little bit more interesting. And again, all materials in description. Take a look if you want to create this, and I definitely recommend. And as I said, if you're not sure yet in your strokes, wait until previous paint dry out and start after that. You can't solve this problem only with like practicing, only doing this again and again and again. And also you see how this lighten up our paint. We got some space between, even if it's already so beautiful. And I will go with a little bit more small strokes around these flowers. And our second custom color. This is last one's a custom color, sorry. And this is the same color we did this central part. So color number 4. And with the same brush, I'm starting a little bit lower. It's not too much space between flowers, so I'm placing a little bit on the top, especially ends of these strokes. But it's definitely making this a little bit, giving more nuances. Let's put it this way. And you see, really close, but still some space between. And I like how this blue even different tones of blue now playing all together and making this like flower all together. So beautiful. As I said, end of the strokes will be a little bit on the top of each other. Don't worry about that. And I'm moving till the end of this top part. So I'm making a little bit more contrast. I definitely like how it's playing all together. Even for now, without drops, it's just so bluish, but it's beautiful because it's so blue, like our sky. And we're done. Look at this, so beautiful. 4mm tools and our blue Harbour color. I'm placing dots. As you see, on the top of this last row, a mark that we made, and look at your custom color. Look at this, how this changed. Picture so many emotions. Make it, if you didn't get so much space, because it still depends how you're placing your strokes. It's completely custom painting all times, every time. Maybe take like a little bit smaller, 3mm, for example. Look at your particular painting and decide. And again, we can leave it like that. It's already amazing. But I decided to go with a little bit more small strokes, and I found a really small brush for this one. Look at this, really small, 5mm long. And what I'm doing, I'm placing small strokes around. So I'm starting with our third custom color and moving like that. It's just like petals of this flower, just small one. And you see, they're not completely the same, but it's kind of makes sense if we're talking about vishudha. So we shouldn't be the same. We are absolutely different, everyone, and this is amazing. And this is amazing part of the art. Every time when you're creating something, it's not like another thing. It's not like before and not like it will be in future. So it's every time custom painting. So, and you see, it's kind of weird, I know, but it kind of so make sense for me. If it's too wild, just remove it until your paint fresh. Or you can actually next one place a little bit on top, and this will cover the previous one, so don't worry and enjoy the process. And I'm adding 2 more from both sides, and this time I'm taking second custom color And I'm starting literally from the line. I'm not sure is it's visible on a video, but you will see this on your mandala. Again, I'm leaving a little bit space between, just a little bit, and this will give only more deepest to your painting if your base color will be visible. And you see how this changing everything. This one a little bit longer, and you can cover the previous one if they're weird like mine. Or you shouldn't, but it's definitely making difference. Look at this, how it's playing all together. And finishing. And you see I'm ending up these strokes between previous flowers. And last one. So beautiful. So next step, just wait until everything dries out, so don't mess up a little bit when you paint fresh. And I want to add a little bit more details to this central part. And 1mm tool, I'm placing dots like you see with our first custom column between strokes, and it's like on the top of these big dots. And this, you see how this changing our palette immediately, making it a little bit more interesting. For next dots, let's take 1.5 or just 0.5mm tool, the same first custom color. You see how I'm placing dots between these big ones, and this like a little bit adding more details. And I got a little bit space between previous row. This is our third row of small dots, so I'm placing small dots between with our second custom color. Just wait until everything dries out and be careful, but this definitely will add more details to your painting. And when you finish, just wait until everything dries out. Look how it became more interesting and more complicated, even these small details. So I'm taking the same 3D drops we are starting with pearl bronze art creation and making like small dots on the top. just small one. And small one between our bottom, our flowers. And with needle or tiny thin tool, I'm making small tails between flowers. And these details definitely change in our picture in a total. So I'm not trying to cover all black color, because actually this making contrast and plain all together. And like that. And next one, the same color, I'm placing over there on the top, a little bit bigger one. And this time I'm making tails to the both sides. Just double down on this shape. And you see how this like plain all together. I'm starting from the central part of drop and dragging paint first on one side, second on another one. And you see this bronze golden color just making so much sense now, and this playing with our blue. Central part more light, after that more shadows. So beautiful. And on the bottom of these small flowers, you see, I'm not placing on a dot, just on the bottom, and with needle or thin tool I'm also making small tails between strokes. I'm not dragging too much, just small details. A little bit more details, remove if you got something that you don't like. And small one between the strokes, between flowers. This one I'm just placing dots, I'm not making tails, but you can definitely do if you like. And we're finished. Congratulations, look at this beauty. It's beautiful throat mandala, vishudha chakra. And hope you enjoy this video, hope you enjoy your painting, and see you next video. Bye.